Hey everybody, it's Deb Dowdy here. I am going to talk to you a little bit about energy today, and I'm actually going to read you a little excerpt out of Brendan Burchard's book. It is actually right here, High Performance Habits, How Extraordinary People Become That Way. If you do not have this book, I totally recommend it, whether you are an entrepreneur or not. This is for every person, that this is very applicable things to your life, but also will help you in business as well. There's a quote in here that says, human excellence is a state of mind, and that's by Socrates. If you know me or have worked with me before in some kind of capacity, you know I'm all about personal growth and development and achievement. So today we're going to talk a little bit about energy. Now, here's what was really interesting to me. He said, I'm convinced that if we can get you to change the way you shift from one activity to the next, you can revitalize your life. And I totally agree with him 100%. So, throughout our day, right, our day actually comprises of series of different transitions all day long. We're going from one thing to the next, different transitions all day long, right? So how do we get to manage a little bit of our stress and be intentional? So here is some tips that came straight from him, and it is something that I practice on a daily basis. I do teach this, and matter of fact, the reason why I'm going over this particular one right now is because today I've had two very challenging times throughout my day today within a 2-hour period, and I had to use this technique after both. One, God love her, I love my mom, and sometimes though talking with her can be challenging when she's just really set on something. She's like 84 and a half years old, and she's very set in her ways, and sometimes she just does not want to listen, and it's very frustrating. So when I got off the phone, I had to use this technique. And then also I had something that came up today in my own household that was very irritating to me, to be quite honest. And before I went to shift into the next thing I needed to go do or have that continued conversation, I needed to step away for a minute and actually do this practice. So here it is. You're simply going to be using the word release, release, release. So you just kind of close your eyes, get yourself grounded, do some breathing, right? Get a little bit more relaxed, and just say, release, release, release. Release, release, release. So you just keep saying that over and over. Release, 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 right? Until you physically feel your shoulders dropping, the tension in your neck going away, right? A little bit more calmness in your heart. Your mind is a little bit more settled. Now, you can do this anytime, but if you actually you get very mindful with this practice, you will love it, because when you get ready to shift from one thing to another, right, each activity that you do, like before I came out and got in the car earlier, okay, what I needed to do is I sat in the car for about 30 seconds and I said release, release, release. Release, release, release. So I had no tension, none of the irritants of the energy that I had prior bringing into where I was going, and me driving a car, right? So here's the thing. After you do the release, 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 so you can physically feel just your body just getting more at ease, then you set an intention, right? So let me read to this, okay? So you set the intention. This means think about what you feel and achieve in the next activity that you're going to take on. Ask yourself, what energy do I bring into this next activity? How can I do this activity with excellence? How can I enjoy this process? Because again, if you're in an irritated state, right, like I was, and I'm just being real, if you know me, I'm totally real. So, I was in an irritated state, and you just stay that way. And if you're in that and you bring it into the next thing you do, that is no good. It does not serve anybody to their highest and good. It doesn't serve yourself to your highest and good. So it's release, release, release. It gives you a few minutes to just turn around and change your perception of things, and not to be reactive versus just being able to be still for a minute, think about things again from another perspective and then be able to move forward. Maybe that's going back into a talk that you needed to have, that you just removed right yourself from, right? Like I said, maybe it's again switching off and you just got off the phone. Maybe you had some business calls to do and you just got off the phone and with some of your clients, and now you're getting ready to shift into talking to somebody, a prospect, right? Or you're getting ready to make a phone call that might be a little bit challenging. Between those calls and shifting to the next one, release, 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 and you breathe, and then you set your intention to say, okay, how do I want to show up on this next call? What kind of person do I want to be? What do I want to, this activity, how do I want it to look like, right? So we just are getting very mindful. And if we do this throughout the day, between everything that you do, when instead of going, we're all over the place, right? And that doesn't serve us very well. So to stop, be mindful, relax, say that to yourself till you feel your body drop, set the intention for the very next thing, and then you will be so much better off, and you'll see that you will have less stress. You're managing that better, and you'll see that things will start to flow to you a little bit better, right? And that you're so you're so much more relaxed and you're not being reactive to everything, okay? And if you heard my little duck friends next door, we're outside. I'm enjoying some patio life at one of my beautiful friends' house, and the neighbors has some ducks, so I just love being out in nature, and this actually helps to fill my cup. So thank you so much, you guys. And see, when I get off the video here, before I start to interact with my friend again, and yes, we are social distancing, just so you know, before I start to react and have some reaction with her and conversation and everything, I'm going to sit here for about 30-40 seconds and do my whole release, release, release. So this way I am done. I close this tab with what I'm doing here on the video, and I go in with my conversation and with being in present mind with focusing on just my friend. So you guys have a beautiful day. I appreciate you all. Take care.